Welcome, welcome to another interview in the Thrive in 2023 series. I am so delighted today to have my guest and friend, Kim Parkinson, who is a podcast producer. And I would love to tell us more right off the bat, Kim, about what it is you do in your business and how and when you got started.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I am looking forward to 2023. This is going to be an excellent year. So, I am a podcast producer and strategist. So, I take your recordings and I will actually help you through the strategy of your content and any kind of CTAs that you might also need. And then once you have recorded, you are done. I take it and we edit. We add your intro, your outro, your music. We'll create all sorts of different social media assets depending on what you want and what you need for your business. And then we'll write the show notes and we publish it to the world so you can get your message out there for all to listen. So it's pretty seamless for you. You just have one tiny, well, I shouldn't say tiny portion. Your message is very important. You're delivering value to your listeners, your followers, your hopeful clients. And I am just helping you to get that out there for more visibility. So that's the production part and what I do on a day-to-day business. And I got started in 2020 after I was working a terrible corporate job that I just wasn't really fond
You weren't
of.
thriving.
And yes, I wasn't thriving. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And during that time where we were all wondering what we were going to do with our lives, I took a look at my resume and a couple of things stood out. And one was I had owned a craft store. From 2012 to 2017. It was a retail business. And it was a lot of work, by the way. But during that, I actually was a TV producer. I had my own television show, and I was the executive producer on that. And we did not a ton of episodes, but enough that it ended up being something that I just really loved. And people told me over and over again that I was excellent at just keeping the rolling of the conversation going and just was really good at just keeping the flow with a soothing voice. And I thought, you know what, that really sounds like podcasting. I think I'm going to move over in that direction. And my husband was a musician. So we already had a DAW in the family or in the house. It was an old version of, I think it was acid music, but it's okay. And it worked. My son introduced me to Audacity. And from there, I just moved on into the podcasting realm and world. And I love it. I love it. I love bringing people's messages to the world. So that's a little about me.
That's great, about how I think for everyone, at least one thing changed since 2020,
Yes.
and how you took a look at, "What are my skills? What am I" where could I go from here? And then you just created it.
I did.
And I like, when you were describing what you do, I just got this sense of relief, like, I imagine that there are a lot of people out there listening right now to this interview thinking, either, "I love podcasts," and, listening from a place of curiosity because they love to enjoy podcasts,
Mhm.
and or that there are people listening that think, "One day I have this dream about having a podcast. Maybe I don't know what I wanna talk about, but I have this dream because there's something that is like you were saying, you don't need a whole lot to get started." And yet I'm guessing a lot of people would let it stop them. The other parts they don't know how to do, which is exactly where you and your business come in, because the creator creates their part, and then they send it off to you. You take care, you and your team take care of all the other pieces, which I'm guessing a lot of people are like for me too, that would be what could potentially stop me.
Mhm.
What do I do with this now? How do I get it out there? How do I package it? Like how all of that.
Yeah, it is. And I think you hit it first where you want to get that message out there. And it's a little bit of a legacy, right? When you are saying your message, when you're getting that information out to the world, you essentially could have that out there for decades if you wanted to, right? It's all up to what you want. And if you have some important things to say to your customers, your clients, your family even, they could listen to it many, 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 many years after you've said it, which is such a special time, isn't it? It's something special that is going to live on for forever.
Yeah.
And it's a great avenue for people. And it really doesn't take a lot of time, money, or effort, really. You realistically, my suggestion to any new podcaster is the only things that you should have is a set of headphones, just so there's no reverb, and then a microphone if you have one. But I do actually have clients that do all of their recording on their iPhone. And the best place to do that is on your phone in your car, because the car is already soundproof, right? So you've already got like those sound dampenings. And that's really just for the ease of the editor, I'm going to say. If you wanted to make this super professional sounding on your own, record in a room with a lot of carpet or clothing, bedding in your closet, someplace where there's a lot of sound absorbers. And you can really get some excellent audio just from doing that without having the need to go really in depth into all the mixing and the equalizing of the audio. So it's really simple. And I know you probably just said, oh, I don't know how to do that. But honestly, record in your bedroom or record in your car. It's just that simple. You just have to know what you want to talk about and then just hit that record button and go. And even the recording software can be free. So minimal to get started.
Wow. So I love that message too. It's like, if it's calling to you at all, don't let these things stop you.
Yeah.
You basically already have a studio.
Yeah. If you got
Yeah.
a bedroom or a car, you've got a
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome. That really feeds into the idea of thriving for me, too. The way that you just simplified all of that to take an idea that maybe, um, for whatever reason we have put off or thought we weren't ready for yet. Kim is saying, if you have the desire,
Yeah, go
you
for
could
it.
start today.
Yes. Yeah, you could absolutely
Yeah.
start today. Record on your phone today. Just go sit in your car and start recording. And then just get it to the point where you have a message, and don't give more than one message per episode. If I'm going to give you any advice on the episodes, don't confuse your audience by jumping around in different areas. Stick with one topic. Today we're talking about thriving, but my expertise is podcasting. So that's kind of where I'm going to stick with my thriving is in the podcasting realm, right? And I'm not going to try to confuse your audience by talking about the website design or baking or something, right? We're going to talk about the one thing. Now you're going to have your topics are thriving. You're going to have somebody else on, and their topic is going to be specific to what they do, right? So each episode should be exactly like that. One topic conversation with yourself or with somebody else, and that is going to be about whatever that particular topic is. and then move on to the next episode with the next topic. So easy.
Yeah, easy. And it just, as you were saying that, it made me feel like this relief in my nervous system too. I think it's
Good.
easy for us to overwhelm ourselves with too many things at once.
Hmm.
And so I love that piece of advice for podcasting, but also just in general, like another little tidbit for thriving in general is, allow yourself to do that one thing at a time. Allow yourself to focus in on that one thing at a time, in a world that's full of distractions.
We always do so much better when we just focus on one thing at a time, don't we? Multitasking really just means that we're not doing the best we can in multiple areas.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, focusing on that one thing. And, in regards to that, an episode doesn't even have to be very long. We have people that think, oh, yeah, I have to have, what am I going to talk about for an hour? Well, you don't have to talk about anything for an hour. 10, 15, 20-minute episode is perfect. You don't need anything more than that.
Yeah.
I have one client and she does a 2-minute podcast twice a week. 2 minutes.
Cool.
Why not?
Well, and that is
Yeah,
so doable, right? Like you
right.
would just say, like, I can just see myself going, I have no excuse. I have no excuse to not do this, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. Easy.
Right?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. And so my background is in fitness, and I feel like that was something that I like to get across to people as well. A workout doesn't have to be 60 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anything we do, everything can be bite-sized, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. And like fitness, you start off with maybe, a 2-minute episode, and then you go maybe to a 5-minute episode. And then after a year, maybe you found the sweet spot at like 30 minutes anyway. But after a year, you could have 52 episodes, right? Even if you skipped a couple, you wanted to take a couple of breaks or whatever. Say you had even 30 episodes. After that year, you have given 30 messages to people. And if you imagine, like your area of expertise, which is the exercise, if somebody did something for 30 weeks, imagine how fit they would be, right? Yeah.
That's a good analogy too, because the consistency,
Mhm, mhm.
it does
Yeah,
matter, doesn't it? Yeah.
it does. Yeah. Having your listener look and listen to you and look forward to listening to you every week is really the key to the building blocks of your podcast and potentially your business. Just like consistency of working out would be the building blocks of your muscles and your body, right?
Exactly. Well, that's great. I was just thinking this to myself today about what it feels like to when we commit to something. Of course, it
Mhm.
needs to be the right thing too. Like we have to be in alignment with it. But so with podcasting, it feels like it goes along with that as well. When we make a commitment, when we show up, how that feels to ourselves. And then, of course, if we have an audience, there's someone else counting on that as well. And then to the other piece of that I was thinking about today was around so commitment and then completion.
Mm.
So sometimes, we have something hanging over our head, like we've started it, but we haven't quite finished. And again, that's where I love what you do comes in because the podcaster can say, okay, I'm going to do my part. I'm committing to doing my part, whatever it is, like once a week or whatever. I'm committing to doing that. And then they complete their recording. But then to really get it out there, they hand it off to you, and you're able to work in your zone of genius, work your magic, and get it fully complete. Because just making a recording doesn't make a podcast. That
No,
recording
yeah.
can sit on your phone or whatever, and
Yeah.
your message goes nowhere.
That's right. Yeah. It is important to have those extra little bits to for each episode. Show notes are super important. Those are the little paragraphs that you see underneath each episode when you are looking in your podcast player. And that is just a synopsis of what is inside of your episode, what the reader or the listener, sorry, can expect. I suppose they're reading it, so the listener can expect about your podcast. And it shouldn't tell them exactly what's going to go on, but kind of give them a little snippet, kind of like a taste of what's going to happen. I would also venture to say that I like to put in there any CTAs, calls to action, and if you have any guests, any kind of social media information for that guest or CTAs for that guest. So they don't have to go back. And the thing is we're listening, right? And when we have a podcast, we're listening and we're probably doing the dishes or we're taking a walk, we're exercising. And so we don't have a pen and piece of paper next to us, but having those links right there in the show notes, so easy for people to just click on, open it back up. The podcast player is still playing, but they have that on their phone already open so that they can go back and look at that when the time's right for them, which is important too. Yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So for you and your business,
Yeah.
what is your plan for thriving in 2023?
Oh my goodness, I am going to skyrocket in 2023. I can feel it. I can just feel it. I have already started creating a couple of different courses on podcasting and getting that out there. So people can expect to see more of those coming.
That's
I have
sick.
Yes, yes. And so in that, I've also signed up for a couple of summits and giveaways. So I'm going to get some more visibility out there. So that is my goal, visibility and just a little bit more of accountability, visibility. And I'm just going to just make sure that people can see me everywhere. People can hear my name. I have already opened or just opened a new Facebook community so that people can come and find other guests, can listen to podcasts, find new podcasts, just kind of get tips every week or every day and just get some information about podcasting, whatever they want. It's going to be in that community. And I'm just looking forward to just bringing more awareness of podcasting to people and how easy it can be to achieve and how easy and you have that message. Let's just get that message out to people. Nobody should be denied getting that message out to people. That's really what I want. I really want people, everybody has something to say and everybody deserves to be heard, and this is the perfect platform for that. Nobody's going to tell you what to say on your podcast. So,
oh man,
say it.
I love that. Like I could feel the fire rise in you, the passion as you were
Yeah.
describing that. Like that's how you connected with this particular entrepreneurial adventure.
Yes. Yes.
If you do believe so strongly in that, and so, and I'm guessing that over time it's gotten even stronger and more passionate as you've witnessed the power of it and connecting with more people and watching more people bring their podcast to life. I'm just seeing how that adds to your fire and your just knowing that you're doing the right thing, that you are on
Yeah.
the path.
Yeah. I am happy to talk to people about podcasting, even if it's just a little bit of some information that they need. It's not always the right avenue for everyone, and people will know that pretty quickly. And alternatively, it is the right avenue, but maybe people have a time constraint. They're like, I don't want to do this every week. And that's fine because there's other avenues to do that. You can still podcast and do batch recording. So you could take one whole, say, weekend and just record, 20 episodes and then be done. It doesn't have to go on forever and ever and ever. You could have seasons, just like your life. You could have a season and you could talk about one particular thing during season one, and then maybe another thing during season two, or just leave it as seasons and say, I'm going to produce an episode for 20 weeks, and then we're going to take a 10-week break and we'll produce another one for 20 weeks. You don't have to be tied to it every day, too. And you don't have to be, there's a lot of flexibility in it, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a lot of flexibility in podcasting. And again, essentially, it's your own podcast. You can do anything. You could swear. You could do anything in it, whatever you want. It's yours. So yeah, it's unstoppable. People should never think that it's something they can't do. It is absolutely achievable.
Yes. The power of podcasting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah. And I think you just really highlighted that freedom too.
Yes.
The freedom.
Yes.
Your show. It's you get to make the decisions. How often, what you talk about. If you change, this season it's this season it's this.
Yep.
There are we get to make the rules.
Yeah, no rules. No rules in podcasting. If you wanted to not have your podcast play on a certain platform, you can even arrange for that to be. So if you were not a Spotify fan, for instance, you could say, no, I don't want it on there. Do I recommend that? No, but it's the power
it's a choice,
of what you have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm huge about the freedom. My son is a U.S. Marine, so I am huge into that. I should have worn my red, white, and blue, but I didn't know I was going to go into that. But yes, absolutely. Freedom and the power of your voice is important, right? Going all the way back to our forefathers and having that amplification of your message. Wow, what a great way to be able to do this for everyone. So
Yes. Oh man, it really gets me stirred up, as we've had this, as the conversation has continued, and I feel that within you, and I'm like, Kim, I want to start today.
Absolutely. Well, now you've got the double recording there. So
Yes. Oh, Kim is not only a wealth of knowledge and someone I would recommend going to for podcasting to whatever degree you're ready for, if it's a course or a phone call with Kim or, getting to the stage of hiring Kim, you can tell that she cares about what she does. And that message about your voice matters. And then what you touched on earlier too about legacy, so powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely something that you need to realize that you have the power to make just that tiniest bit of change in somebody and to accept that, I know that both of us are projectors. So, we're very much the beacon of light, right? So I feel that. I really feel that if I have something to say to something or I have something to offer to somebody, then everybody should be able to have that ability to do that. And that's where I'm hoping that other people will bring, just that message, however it can be, however they want it to be, even if it's just one short little episode, they can, or one short little season. Just get your messages out there for everyone and let others see your shining light, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, Kim, I feel like that is just the perfect note to end on. Such a high note, such a good feeling. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Cheers
Thank
to
you for
your
having me.
thriving in
Yeah.
2023. And I'm so excited about podcasting.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear what you're going to name it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So appreciate you.
Thanks. Me too.